Hi there. Let's see, Spirit, what do we have for this individual? Make sure we got our good energy flowing in here. I'm going to start with this deck. Let's get a little smoke cleanse going. Clear the air. All right, the first card that I want to see, Spirit, is something that will give me insight on what we are talking about. I'm looking at the number 421, which to me brings in a statement of you're doing better than was expected based on everything that you've been through. Like that's the first, ooh, okay. I got chills like down my back, like down my spine, the upper part of my back with that. So you're doing better than expected based on everything that you have had to live through, rise through, the decisions that you've had to make, the path that you've had to choose to walk. Like you've had to strategically, I have the Two of Wands here, you've had to strategically decide what you're going to take with you and what you're going to leave behind. And you've made really good choices based on what you've had placed in front of you in this world. You may have been a little too hard on yourself. I don't know if this is long-term or not, like if that's a long-term thing. Let me see if something else comes out here. Yeah, you needed a perspective shift. So I have these cards that are deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. So a lot more compassion for yourself, and you're needing to bring in a lot more like rest. And it feels like mental rest, like thoughts that run through your head about achievements or failures or like the past, things like that. And then perspective. The card says none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. So making sure that you're not like overthinking things or replaying things in your head that are just absolutely not helping you walk your path and move forward. You're doing a great job of sorting through everything that you've had to reconcile that's happened in your life. And this type of stuff, like this rest, this not letting your thoughts spiral or your emotions spiral, and allowing yourself like that grace and compassion that you deserve, is going to bring you into better alignment. This says it's coming together, precision, like you're making good choices. That 421 to me means like you're exceeding expectations. And the fact that I started the reading at 421, not realizing that that's what the time was going to be, says a lot for me, which is why I'm articulating that out to you, that's what I have going on here. Okay, I want to pull cards from this deck here. It's Orion's Animal Tarot. I really like the guidance that comes from it, because I want to give you some like clear guidance that Spirit wants in your direction. And when we don't have a back and forth speaking to one another, these can sometimes be more clear. The Three of Swords, so a lot of heartbreak has happened, and this doesn't have to necessarily be romantic, although it does feel like it's romantic, and a lot of heartbreak that you've had to deal with in your life. And then the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Looks like an iris and a sunflower, perhaps, on there. And the Four of Pentacles. Okay. So the Three of Swords. What I'm going to look at first, I'm going to look these up. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so what I want to see is the keywords in here. And we're going to go in the order of which they came out. I want to start with the keywords before we read the actual like words from the card. The keywords are heartbreak, division, and loneliness. Three of Swords upright. Heartbreak, division, and loneliness. And then we had the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And that says procrastination, frustration, and non-commitment. So perhaps having a hard time getting yourself, like the loneliness sticks out and the non-commitment sticks out, and like the procrastination sticks out as well. It all feels relevant, but those ones stick out the most: heartbreak, division, loneliness. And then the Four of Pentacles upright. Frugality, affluence, and possessiveness. Frugality, affluence, and possessiveness. The frugality sticks out in a way of like not wanting to spend your energy. It's not necessarily just monetary, but like you're afraid to give your energy out, if that makes sense. So let's read what the cards say so that we can get some things that resonate with you here. A swallow darts through the open sky, narrowly dodging three swords coming toward it. Historically, swallows have been linked to nautical travel. Swallow tattoos were common among sailors who used them to indicate just how long their journeys at sea had been. They are symbols of encountering and combating adversity and all of the surprises life throws our way. The Three of Swords reminds us that life can be a painful thing, but there is always the hope that calmer tides are ahead. When upright, the Three of Swords signifies you're undergoing deep emotional pain. Someone close to you has hurt you to the core with their words, actions, and or intentions. I also feel like it could just be like an event also, or events that have come out that were beyond your control. Like this was in somebody else's hands, whether it was somebody that hurt you or something that happened that hurt you, right? But like you didn't have control over the outcome of it. You probably didn't see this coming, but it's a signal that you must seek catharsis from the pain. And that's where that, I don't know where the card went now, but the one that was like rest, like the one that's about like, taking care of yourself. Allow yourself an outlet to release the negative feelings clawing at your insides. Once you've found release, only then can you concentrate on how to move on. While pain is an important facet of life, you must be careful not to internalize it if you find you are prone to being hurt by the words and actions of those around you. You may need to dig deep to find the root of these wounds and take the steps needed to heal. What's interesting is that the cards, when I put them in here, I heard work backwards. So the first one is at the back, Three of Swords. The second one is in the middle, and it's the Page of Pentacles. And then the third one is the Four of Pentacles, and it's in the front. So like you're working backwards in the book. So when we hear that line of you may need to dig deep and find the root of these wounds and take the steps needed to heal, you may have to work backwards to figure out like where the very initial part of the pain started. It may not be one event. It may be multiple events that had similar feelings that were raised. Abandonment, rejection, loss, unlovableness, things like that, right? Like finding those roots, those similarities, those common denominators across the things that you've experienced. Now the Page of Pentacles in reverse says procrastination, frustration, non-commitment. When reversed, the Page of Pentacles signals you won't want for new opportunities. In fact, this could cause you to become overwhelmed instead of sparking your usual excitement. There are so many things to do and projects to tackle, but you don't have the energy or the focus right now to tackle or to take on any of them. For now, it would be best to focus on one goal and put the rest aside. So put the rest aside. That rest feels like it's echoing. Like you may be trying to do a little bit too much, and it's now overwhelming you. And this could also be in your healing as well. Just across the board, you may be trying to tackle too much, little bits at a time. Now is not the time for multitasking. Learn from your past mistakes to keep from overextending yourself. That feels important too. Like, don't overextend yourself. By putting all your focus onto one project, you'll be able to build a proper foundation for your future endeavors. Feels like security, stability is really important. Things that feel safe and stable, not necessarily comfortable, but that feel like you have some sure footing underneath you. That doesn't mean don't do anything that's uncertain, or new, but just making sure that you've got your footing underneath you emotionally, that you're well rested, that you're well taken care of, and that it feels aligned with your life. And then the Four of Pentacles, frugality, affluence, possessiveness. An armadillo curls around a pentacle, its armored bands defending it from the outside world. While the pentacle is safe, the armadillo is stuck, unable to move for fear of what might become of its prize. The two spears of wheat above its head represent the prosperity waiting outside the armadillo's protective sphere. So all this pain that you've had to go through, which is clearly there, right? I mean, we've got, the Three of Swords there. All this pain and the things that we talked about with this card too, of you've had to like decide what you take with you and what you don't based on all that you've been through. But you have built like this almost this freeze mode in some ways. Like maybe you busy yourself over here to not have to deal with these things over here that actually do need some attention. Like things that have to do with your life fulfillment, like your sense of purpose, your sense of passion, bringing a spark back into your life, maybe something that's dwindled a little bit. Don't get so busy in the busy work. There's always something else that needs to be done, right? So I think that's why they're like, just tackle one thing at a time. Get your sure footing underneath you. They are out of reach, close but inaccessible to someone who refuses to open up to what life may bring. The Four of Pentacles reminds us that secluding ourselves provides protection, but also alienates us from the world. So you are being encouraged to, take a little bit of risk. It doesn't have to be wild risk, okay? You can have it well thought out of like what you're going to try, what you're going to do, how you're going to move next. What next uncomfortable zone you're going to allow yourself to be in that feels like there is some foundation to it, right? Some good boundaries. When upright, the Four of Pentacles asks us to be critical of our relationship with money. There's a fine line between being frugal and being miserly. One brings economic relief, while the other places you in a state of anxiety, distrust, and paranoia. While this position can suggest that you've reached economic stability by remaining careful, conservative, and attentive, it usually implies you've become unable to spend for fear of losing your fortune. Again, this may be an energetic thing too. It could resonate for you like just at face value also, but I really feel intuitively called to say, read this a little bit differently. As like, you're afraid to give out your love, your time, your energy, your vulnerability, your authentic self, all of those things. Like there's a fear behind that, for fear of being hurt again. And that's really not a way to live life. And I know that like, that's easy to say, but like, I haven't been through what you've been through. I don't know what you've been through, but I'm just hearing you haven't been through what she's been through. Okay, fair. But no matter what, it's not a life to live just secluded, alone. That loneliness really did stick out, remember, in that card? And now this one is talking about like being afraid to step step out and spend your energy, like be around people, risk something. Foregoing happiness entirely won't serve you well. Money shouldn't be the focal point of your life and actions. Control can be had in other ways. Try to live within your means without punishing yourself. And remember, there is more to life than the pursuit of wealth. I really feel like this card is so much more energetic than it is about money. But if it resonates with the money too, then that's okay. That's great too. Okay, Spirit, what would you like for me to do next? One second. Let me listen. Okay. 2 cards from here. Upright only. I have the 3 of Spires and the Chariot. There they are. Okay, so again, we're working backwards. The 3 of Spires is the 3 of Swords. Again, in this deck, it's called the 3 of Spires, but the element is air, which means it's swords. And so it says separation, heartache, loss, conflict, misfortune, tension, and mourning. Like mourning. So very heavy card. It says the symbols are turbulent skies, rain, 3 mountains, and a broken bridge. 2 mountains flank, a third in the center, which fades into the background like a forgotten sibling. The central mountain pushed into the distance represents the member of the trio that has been cast aside or neglected, adding an element of separation or loss to the scene. A bridge, once a symbol of connection, stands in ruins, signifying severed communication, an unresolved conflict. Above the skies is turbulent, with hues of gray, blue, purple, and burgundy mirroring inner turmoil. The gentle rain is a somber reminder of sorrow, but it also carries with it the promise of renewal and healing. Just as bridges can be rebuilt, broken relationships can be repaired with patience, understanding, and cooperation from all parties. Embrace this moment as an opportunity for reconciliation and growth. Extend a hand of empathy and understanding to those you may have drifted apart from, and seek common ground to mend fractured connections. So whether this is like permanent loss or temporary loss, there's an energetic release that can also be had regardless of what kind of loss it is. It says there's journal prompts here. It says, number 1, people or relationships I feel disconnected from right now include. Number 2, I deal with separation by. Number 3, unresolved conflicts have an impact on my well-being by. Number 4, a successful reconciliation experience occurred when. Number 5, how might an act of forgiveness toward myself or others affect my life? And then the other one was the Chariot, which is, a nice positive card about movement forward, like permanent movement forward, like it's time to move forward. It says momentum, drive, action, wisdom, willpower, control, determination, mastery, success, goals, and travel. Symbols are clear sky. So we had the turbulent sky, right? Moving into the clear sky. Moving into the clear sky. Clear sky, pyramids, river, wilderness, rapids, and solar bark. A sacred boat called a solar bark glides over the surface of a shining river. At the fore, a pilot tests the depth of the water and directs the helmsperson in how to maneuver. Through placid and rough spots, arid and verdant lands, and obstacles like rapids and rocks, the bark masterfully transports holy cargo and represents a bridge. Okay, so now we have a different kind of bridge, right? We had the broken bridge in the other, and now we have reference to another bridge. Transports holy cargo and represents a bridge between the mortal world and the divine. Its cone-shaped ends symbolize portals between origin and destination. The river itself winds unexpectedly south to north through multiple lands and cities, changing shape and speed and power before finally emptying into the sea. Here, the water represents the collective unconscious, the next part of the stowaway's journey. The distant pyramids represent the decades of work required to manifest a goal. take control, steer the ship, and trust yourself to stay the course. When I see this bridge between the mortal world and the divine, I really feel like there's an energy that's knocking for you. Like there is someone on the other side that is knocking and trying to get your attention. And I don't have a name. I don't have an indicator. I'm just hearing like, you're going to know who it is. And I don't know if you've been kind of avoiding this energy, or if you kind of thought, well, maybe that person is around. I don't know. But the answer is they are. They are. Action. Stimulate your inner drive by taking a brisk 20-minute solo walk. No friends, no dog, no headphones, no distractions. What clarity and inspiration rise to the surface while you are in motion. Okay, and then I'm going to do one from here. It's the Sacred Rebel Oracle, which I absolutely love this deck. It's an Alana Fairchild deck, which is absolutely amazing. What do we have for this beautiful person, please? I hear you. I'm going to read the face of the cards that fell down, but I'm waiting for a single one to come out. There we go. That's the one we're reading. Oh my gosh, it says after the storm. Okay, so these cards have come out. I'm going to read the face of them, but this one literally says after the storm. With those last cards with the stormy sky and the clear sky, and then the after the storm coming out, I'd say we have quite a synchronicity here, and Spirit is speaking. And the one here on top, I don't know what's behind yet, but the one here on top, it says beyond the mind, the heart beats. And at the beginning of the reading, I'm pretty sure I said something about like an overthinking that was happening. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. Finding that passion, right? Igniting that spark again in your life for purpose and things like that. And then it says receiving. This could be receiving messages from Spirit. This could be being open to receiving new beautiful things in your life after the storms that you've had to go through. Yes, and then bringing it into form, bringing those things forward, receiving and actually like bringing them into your life. Okay, so that's what I have with these ones, and then I'm going to read this one here, and it is card number 1. It just gives the vibe of like that first step, very first thing. If you're a numbers person, it is on page 26. This said this says there's a thunderstorm about. It's either headed your way or just passing through now. Don't make a thunderstorm mean more than what it is, though. You don't have to fear it. You might even feel excitement about it. After all, a thunderstorm is just nature's way of gathering energy together that needs to be released. With a release of tension, relief and freedom soon follow, often with a fresh perspective. We had the perspective card to come out, right? That black card at the beginning, perspective. Often with a fresh perspective and perhaps the gift of a promising, hopeful vision for your future. Perhaps a particular storm building within you or around you is causing you to quake in your boots. It might be a storm of building emotions, threatening to erupt or already exploding seemingly beyond your conscious control. You might feel an uncomfortable sense of emotional or psychological pressure within, and if something doesn't happen and soon, you fear you might just burst. You may also sense that these are forces operating beyond your control. We talked about that too, how something felt like it was beyond your control. And if my stomach makes noises, I'm sorry, I need to eat. So, but I really wanted to, like, I felt so called to get in my circle, like right now to do this. So you may also sense that these are forces operating beyond your control. And you would be right. There is in life and in the creative process a need to allow for wild storms. There will be those precious moments of peace beforehand and the release and revitalization that follows, yet the storm in the middle is essential. It is a natural part of the creative process. Without this building and releasing of energy, we would suffer from boredom and stagnancy. You may prefer the excitement of the storm or the fresh, open feeling that accompanies its clearing. You may find it comforting to be faced with the power of something in which you can only participate rather than control. Either way, the storm wisdom offers you the gift of bringing things to a head and clearing them away so that the energy can be freed from a pattern that has had its day and is ready to become something new. Sometimes the pressures that fuel the storms of our lives have been building up for a long time without us being fully aware of it. It may be pressure from our own minds creating unnecessary burdens upon us, such as burdens of fear or self-doubt. It could be pressure to appear a certain way or to fight against life out of a mistaken belief that this is necessary for survival. Sometimes the pressure is little more than the impossible dream of perfection and a need to gently or even with dramatic flourish cast that aside so that you can dare to be what you are and create from your heart. Even if you are not sure what the storm is, quote, about, don't lose confidence in your ability to successfully bear its progression until you are safely at the other side of the experience. Even amongst the chaos of change and in moments of anxiety, know that you have so much light and trust in your heart that you can see the storm is but a passing process and nothing that need worry you. If you can't sense the storm yet, this oracle is important for you. The storm is coming, and I feel like you've already been through it. I really feel like you've already been through it. But it says this. The storm is coming, and you can, if you wish, feel the beautiful, exhilarating gift of it. As you are empowered to cast aside what has been and receive the gift of a fresh, new take on things. Your confidence is to remain intact. Whatever is happening or soon will happen in your life, this storm of sorts is transformational and supportive of your growth. It is going to clear away cobwebs and open you to new creative energy and life. Remember, there can be no rainbows without a little rain. This oracle is also a confirmation that if you have been praying for help, your prayers have been heard, and the great creative intelligence of our universe is responding to you, stepping in and shaking things up so that situations can be sorted out according to a greater wisdom. So let go. Hold only to your inner self and allow everything to be cleansed in the sacred storm. I hope that this reading is helpful for you. And I am so sorry for all that you have had to go through. This feels heavy. And I just, if some part of you deep within, whether that's your inner child or just your human need to feel seen, validated, felt, I want to give that to you. I feel like the heaviness, like I want to cry. Like I feel the heaviness of what you've had to go through. And whatever it is that I've never experienced. I know that it's hard. But it's okay to move forward. It's okay to trust again. It's okay to receive. It's okay to heal. Okay. This is much longer than I thought it was going to be, but I'm certainly glad that we spent every moment together.